Bring it on. Want some, get some.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Yes, I am a pirate.
You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirates.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I don't think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
We will get to Omaha. I can promise you that.
Red and purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome in to the Christmas Spectacular right here on the Sports Objective as we get you ready for the bowl game. And that is hard to believe, just a handful of days away. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle from Annapolis. Barber, how are you?
I'm not quite from Annapolis yet, but yeah. We'll be headed up that way here in a few days. What's going on, guys? It's Christmas week. It's bowl week. A lot of excitement in the air for Santa Claus and for beating NC State. And for our Bowl Spectacular podcast listener party at the Fisherman's Inn, and we're going to promote this several times during the show, at the Fisherman's Inn from 6 to 9 o'clock this Friday, December 27th. There, I don't know I can't remember. I should know the exact name of the town, but it's Google it, guys. Fisherman's Inn.
I think it's
right
Glen
outside
Burnie, right?
No, it's not Glen Burnie. No, it's not. Right outside of Annapolis. So it's on a little small island. Hold on, let me get the exact name of the town. But Matt, go ahead, man. Now that I've screwed this up.
What's up, guys? Definitely looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to the event. First of all, getting to catch up with a lot of Pirates, and I think it's going to be a great venue for it. And obviously, just got some good news on the weather. We were talking about this just before the show, Dave. As you mentioned, looks like there's not going to be any rain for the game, which makes it even better.
Yep, and in the 40s, so not too bad at all. We lost Matt, but I'm sure he'll be coming back for sure. And the weather's looking good. Want to say hello to Justin, Stevie. Justin is saying, good evening. The Queen's End the third is rolling north and ready to beat down the Wolf Pups. So, I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll talk about our predictions right before our Christmas part of it. Let's see. Stevie says, "What's up, guys? Merry Christmas to Stevie."
And guys, the name of the restaurant is the Fisherman's Inn. It's Grassonville, Grasonville, Maryland, which is right about 20 minutes from the stadium in Annapolis on a small island just across the bridge there. So that's the Fisherman's Inn. Just Google it. The address is actually on our Facebook page, on our Twitter. So just 6 to 9 p.m. at the Fisherman's Inn. We will have a private room. We're going to have former ECU football players on. Dave. So we have Jody Schultz, who played here in the 80s and played for the Bulls. He owns the restaurant. Of course, Semenza will be there. And then a lot of Jody's teammates from the 80s will be there. And, everybody is invited. Come on out. Great seafood menu, Chesapeake Bay, Maryland style seafood, crab cakes, any kind of crab item you can think of, a lot of different seafood dishes, full service bar. So it's going to be a good time. No cover charge. Just come on out, enjoy hanging out with other Pirate fans, hanging out with us, hanging out with former ECU football players. So Menza will be signing autographs. It's $5 per autograph unless you're a really attractive woman with big breasts, then it's free. Otherwise, it's $5 an autograph.
That sounds about right. That does sound
exactly.
About right.
And and then like I said, Jody Schultz, the owner and former Philadelphia Eagle, former Pirate, will be there. Some of his teammates. We're trying to line up some more guests, so just join us. Fisherman's Inn.
Sounds good. Hey, Matt.
One of my
Matt,
favorite parts about this show every year, fellas, is taking Kyle to task about his favorite Christmas movie, Ernest Saves Christmas. So I'll look forward to that later in the show.
That is not my favorite Christmas movie, but I do enjoy Ernest Saves Christmas. Are you not a fan of Ernest Saves Christmas?
I mean, it's solid. It's solid.
Now, where did you get my favorite from?
I just know you love it. I mean, I know
top five, right?
You said it was one of the more underrated ones.
It is very underrated, extremely underrated, and we will get into our favorite Christmas movies. That'll be later on in the show.
It's called a tease. It's called a tease, guys.
That's what it's called. Yes, it's called a tease. Some girls are called teases also. I don't like them very much. But anyway, so the bowl game's coming up, guys. First of all, have you guys been watching bowl games, playoff games? The playoffs so far have sucked.
Well, I think they got the whole. But I will say this, guys. I agree with the matchups, but I will say, Matt, that the whole playoff thing has been very exciting. I like the fact that the first round being at the stadiums have been the home games have been really, really cool and not the neutral sites. I like that a lot. I like the fact it's 12 teams. This just makes me want, speaking of teases, there's a seg for you. As far as a tease goes, this teases me because not to get off on a tangent here, guys, but I really want 16 teams, but at least we have 12. It's a step in the right direction. And here's another thing, guys. For me, and I'll say this, I know we'll talk maybe more about it on Friday night because we have the games for the weekend coming up. But for me, Oregon and Ohio State is, to me, the matchup for the whole tournament, if you will, the whole playoff, and it's a quarterfinal game. So that's concerning because that would be the olden days. That would be kind of like a BCS matchup. But to me, those are two of my favorites, two that I have the most interest in, I think, as far as an intriguing matchup. And again, we'll talk about it more on Friday night, along with East Carolina and NC State at the Fisherman's Inn there, the great restaurant, not too far away from Annapolis, Maryland. But I want to get your take, guys, on the playoff as far as that very thing of 12 should be 16. And what did you think about the home games and the matchups coming up? Oregon and Ohio State is the game I'm looking forward to the most.
I like the atmosphere. Go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I like the atmosphere at the home stadiums. I thought the games all sucked.
Yeah.
None of them were close, but the atmospheres at the home stadiums were nice. As far as matchups further down the road in the playoffs, I hadn't even thought about it. What I'm looking forward to the most, looking forward to seeing Boise host, this coming weekend. Or whenever they play, is it New Year's Day? I don't even know. I need to look at the schedule. But looking forward to seeing Boise host, being the Group of Five so-called representative. As far as bowl games up to this point, I keep forgetting what's on and when they're on. But I have got to watch a few. So far, the Frisco Bowl, Memphis beating West Virginia, to me has been the highlight of the bowl season so far. It was a good competitive game. Have y'all watched any? Matt, have you seen any bowl games you've enjoyed so far? And what are your thoughts on the playoffs?
Yeah, the Memphis West Virginia game was solid. Honestly, there haven't been really many good games at all. I think like my biggest takeaway so far from the playoff is that I repeat your guys, or I'll echo your thoughts in terms of the on-campus games, seeing those games at Notre Dame and in Happy Valley. I mean, that environment was unbelievable, and Ohio State was on fire. And, I think my biggest takeaway, though, guys, is like just how kind of corrupt college football has become in terms of the talking heads, the ESPN talking heads. They were so quick to write off Indiana and so quick to write off the SMUs of the world. And a lot of those same people went silent when Tennessee got absolutely manhandled at Ohio State. And, if you're going to write off those programs, you're going to write off Tennessee too from the mighty SEC. So, it's the Kirk Herbstreits of the world. It's the Greg McElroys and, the pencil neck Paul Feinbaums of the world. That these guys are just, SEC homers. And so I've loved to see those smaller schools get an opportunity. The games have been terrible. I don't think it's always going to be that way. I think that you're going to see, just like everything else. Some year you're going to have a great playoff. Some year it's going to suck. Same thing in the NFL. Exactly. But I do think it's good to see different schools get an opportunity. I think that's important for college football.
No, I think what they should do, and Indiana's in the Big Ten, but I think what they should do is take the Big Ten, take the SEC, and let them go form their own thing. Let them have an NFL type format, and then when about 100 or so schools are all left out of it, and they lose about 70% of their audience, they'll finally realize they screwed up. But anyway, college football screwed up right now. The biggest thing, and then we'll get to more happy topics like playing NC State, our bowl, listener party, Christmas, etc. But the portal, has got to be, we're all over the place. We're jumping around on topics, but we're getting all the topics in. But the portal has got to be, talking about the corruption of college football, the portal has got to be moved back until after the bowl season and playoff season is over. The fact right now, just looking at it from East Carolina perspective, we're missing 3 of our best defenders because of the portal, which is, I think 2 of them, I think one of them we've already replaced with IBM. I think the corner from Western Carolina, who was a FCS All-American, is an upgrade. So I don't think it's going to be a problem replacing those guys. Zakiah Barker, you don't just replace Zakiah Barker. C.J. Mims was a good player. So they suck to lose them, but we'll replace them in the portal. Like I said, we've already replaced IBM. The problem is losing them for the bowl game. That's where it's a big issue. So the portal has got to move back to after the bowl season is over, then open it up. And then plus you lost Sowell to Iowa State, but we do have depth at receiver. And Winston Wright, portal wouldn't have affected that. He decided he's not going to play in the bowl, which I actually think is a mistake. He's not going to get drafted. He's going to be a free agent signee. I think playing in the bowl, unless he got injured again, would only help his stock. So I actually think that was a mistake on Wright's part. But NC State's dealing with it too. Their best receiver entered the portal, but it would make beating an NC State a lot easier if we had 3 starters on defense plus Sowell. And we're not, a lot of teams. For God's sake, Marshall, who put themselves in their situation by not retaining Huff and offered him a BS extension at the last minute. They had 29 players transfer off their team, and they had to cancel their appearance in the Independence Bowl. Louisiana Tech ends up filling the spot at 5-7. So, our conference champion Army, instead of taking on the Sun Belt champion in the Independence Bowl, now gets a 5-7 Louisiana Tech team. So the portal has got to be moved into January, or it's going to kill bowl games.
Most definitely. I'm glad you guys brought that up. That was a subject that was on my mind because I actually like bowls, and I'll tell you why I like bowls. I understand that we've got to revamp. We've got to do something with it. I agree completely. But, guys, we're talking about going to the Military Bowl. I have never been to the Naval Academy, and I've never been to Annapolis, Maryland. Think about this. If you get rid of bowl games, think about the economic impact of these towns like Annapolis, Maryland, the capital of Maryland. You're not going to have, there's got to be something done, but to throw the baby out with the bathwater, like the cliche goes, I don't think you get rid of bowl games. I think you've got to come up with something clever with the bowl games. But man,
all you have to do is push the portal date back. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to do that because kids want to be able to maybe enroll kids want to be there for spring ball. If you're not going to do it because kids want to be there, so kids can be there for spring ball, I don't know. You can't have everything you want. So you might just have to scrap kids being there for spring ball if you're going to keep bowls in place. Or we're going to have to push the season back, start it in maybe, like August 20th, and then play these championship games Thanksgiving weekend so we can get all the bowl games besides the playoffs played before Christmas. then open up the portal. I don't know. But something's got to be done. You can't continue like this. It's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, guys, think about this from the coach's perspective. And I think Blake Harrell said it really well this week when he said the NFL wouldn't have free agency in the middle of the NFL playoffs, right? He's absolutely right. He said it perfectly. And, college football has got to get this under control. You think about the coach, right? Think about what these coaches are going through right now. Take a look at Blake Harrell. In the last week, we've probably hosted 30 recruits. All right. You got guys coming in and out from all over the country. He's hired 3 coaches. He's hired a general manager. He's hired a DC, and he's hired a strength and conditioning coach.
Yep.
In addition to
still
that,
got to hire a cornerbacks coach.
Yes. In addition to that, he's involved with managing NIL funds. Where does the money go to? Who gets the money? In addition to that, he's prepping for, I forgot to mention, a bowl game, trying to get a team ready to go up to Maryland to play a bowl game. So, this is not a sustainable, and I can't wait to get Jay Sunhalter's take. I'm really excited Jay's going to be joining us tonight. But this is not a sustainable situation for college football. These coaches are going to burn out, and it just has to be fixed.
Well, you look at Wake Forest head coach, whose name is escaping me right now, former Bowling Green. Clawson, thank you. He resigned at the end of or last week. He said he's done with it. He's done with the NIL stuff. He said this is not what he got into coaching for. So there's going to be a lot of burnout and fatigue, and it's a nightmare. And I don't understand. Like I said, the only reason I can think they'd have the portal open right now is for midseason enrollees at other schools to be there for spring ball. This can't continue. The early signing day in December interferes with bowl preparation.
It needs to be
the portal interferes with bowl preparation. You either have to, if you're going to leave the portal date open now, then you're going to have to rearrange college football season, start it earlier, end it earlier, or you're just going to simply have to open the portal up in January. Or we're going to have to come up with a different postseason format. But still, you're still essentially going to run into the same problem if you don't move the portal, even if you change the postseason format. I had an idea, and I won't even get into it now because it's just a hypothetical idea for an alternative postseason format. There's no need to discuss it, but it's the portal has to be moved. And speaking of the portal, guys, do we want to wait for Bubba and Matt?
Yeah,
Excuse me, for Bubba and Jay before we get into all the guys we've signed. We'll wait for Bubba and Jay for that. So, guys, for our listeners and viewers out there, we got Bubba's going to join us along with former East Carolina tight end and ESPN Plus analyst Jay Sunhalter here shortly, and we will break down more so who we have gotten out of the portal. Of course, guys we've lost from the portal, we've already gone through that, but we'll break down guys we've brought in from the portal so far. Big O-line commitment today out of Maryland. So that was a big time get for the O-line. Speaking of Maryland, so we'll get into more of that later on in the show. But Matt, how do you feel about the ball game against NC State? I mean, you had the opportunity to play against North Carolina State. I believe just one time during your career. No, twice. You played them in 96 and 97 when you were here. So talk about what are your thoughts on playing the Wolfpack? What do you see from NC State? And have you been following anything with them losing players in the portal or any opt-outs on their behalf?
Yeah, I know they lost a big-time receiver. I think his name is Concepcion, if I'm saying it right.
Correct.
Big-time loss there. A very talented kid. But, I could tell you, I think that this game means a lot to a lot of people. I think it means a little more to the players who were born and raised in North Carolina. I think it gives them a little, extra something for this game, and it should. Any in-state rivalry should get your juices flowing a little bit. I think NC State guys, what they're going to try to do is attack our corners. I really believe that. You're going to see, with IBM gone, they know we're going to have some inexperience at the corner position. We're going to be kind of rotating guys in and out. I think you're going to see them attack our corners early and often, and really try to stress us, in that spot. So I think it's going to be a big test for us defensively, to try to hold up against that with that inexperience at corner. But, listen, really solid football team. They're good up front on both sides. They obviously have, good talent. So I think it's going to be a big test for us.
No doubt. Do you guys want to go ahead and bring in Jay?
No, let's just make him wait.
Sonny.
Hey,
Jason
can you guys hear me?
Halter. It's Jason Halter.
Jason's here. How we doing?
That's right. There's Jason.
Jay, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas.
Jared, you coming to the bowl game?
Actually, I'll be there calling it for bowl season radio. So
Okay.
I'll be covering
a party. We got a party Friday night with Jason Halter. You can sign autographs, take pictures.
Jay, we are hosting a show at the Fisherman's Inn Friday night. Will you be there?
Awesome. I would love to be there. I'm actually calling the Birmingham Bowl on Friday down in Alabama. So I'll be flying into Baltimore, and I get in about 12:30 that night.
Okay, so who are you? So
if you guys are going late, I can be there.
Well, we might still be up that late, but the official party will be over. But the after party will still be going on.
Yeah, I'll be with.
So who are you calling those games for? Bowl season radio.
Bowl season radio. Yeah. So we did the Myrtle Beach Bowl today, and then I'll be doing the Birmingham Bowl, Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt, and then the Military Bowl with the Wolfpack and the Pirates.
So tell us. So what is bowl season radio exactly? Who is that owned by, and where can that be listened to at?
Yeah, so it's national radio on Sirius XM, Odyssey app, the Varsity app, and other outlets. But it's national coverage, and yeah, it's awesome. It's a great organization, and this is the third year I've been with bowl season radio. Just awesome management, leadership, and great crew. So we'll be excited for it. So I found out I knew I was doing the Military Bowl before we found out who was in it, and then obviously excited that'll be NC State.
With it being, I mean, obviously you call Pirate games, but Pirates and the Wolfpack. If the Pirates win, are you going to be able to remain professional and partial?
Yeah, I will. I will.
Okay.
I'll be innocent, but I'll give you guys a
Jay, you got to do it
after the game.
You've got to do it. You got to do it unless it's going to get you in trouble. You got to do this. In the words of Jeff Charles, you can paint this one purple.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, I miss Jeff, and Jeff was just an amazing person to me, and I know he's watching down on us. So, love Jeff. Yes, for sure.
Hey Jay, I'm Kyle's agent. Can we get Kyle on bowl season radio? I think that would be classic. What do you think, Semenza?
Absolutely. I don't know if their ratings can handle.
We'll only get you guys on if you tailgate hard before the game. Then you're allowed to come on.
That works. Jay, we were talking about before you came on. We were talking about the transfer portal being open up during bowl season, and how it's making things so difficult on coaching staffs and really affecting these bowl games. Obviously affecting East Carolina. 3 of our best defenders aren't playing. They've entered the portal. One of our best receivers, one NC State's probably their best player, Concepcion. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this? Obviously, they've got to move this portal back to after the bowl season.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it really is. And I know all the coaches hate it, and, they can't necessarily say it, and some do, but I mean, it's not ideal for anybody, and it's not good for the kids either. I was talking to a couple people today, and, in the future, like when I look back on my time, I was at one school and have amazing memories and friends. In the future, if you talk to a kid and you ask him where he went to school, what's he going to say? I went to 3 schools. And I mean, and you're there for a year and you don't really make any life, meaningful relationships. You don't have experience. Everything's transactional. So, I mean, I know, every kid has a reason for transfer. In fact, I transfer. I did transfer. I transferred up, and, I only played 1 year of high school football. But, this is just a new age, and as far as the portal, this isn't going to be good for the kids long term. And of course, some are making life-changing money, but some aren't. And, college shouldn't be like this. It's just unfortunate what it's turned into. But, I think there has to be changes. But I mean, at what point is the NCAA going to step in and do something? I mean, it's already going down the wrong path. They need to do it quickly and now.
I hear a lot of bigger name coaches starting to complain that you haven't heard complain in the past about it, and I'm hoping what they do first move the portal until after bowl season. That's simple enough.
Right.
But to me, the other thing, Blake Harrell said this, I've heard other coaches say this. These kids should have to sign 2-year contracts when they come in and they get an NIL deal. They should have to sign. It should be a 2-year deal, and if they want out of that contract, then they have to have a buyout where they have to pay some money back. Just like if a coach wants to leave his contract early or he gets fired, whatever, they have to buy out or you have to pay them out depending on the situation. And it should be the same with these players. If you're making $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, you should have a 2-year deal. And if you want out of that deal early to go play somewhere else, you have to give some of that money back. And I think as it goes into revenue sharing and the schools start having to pay out this money themselves instead of people like me and Dave and people with a lot more money than us, when the schools start having to pay this out through revenue sharing, I think you can go ahead and bet your bottom dollar that you're going to start seeing some 2-year contracts come into play.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like, when is it going to end? And I think it is getting closer to that, because you're right. I mean, it can't be sustained. I mean, Kyle, don't you agree? I mean, it's like ridiculous.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah,
it's not sustainable like this. And what I'm hoping when revenue sharing, becomes a thing with the 2025 fiscal year, I'm really hoping that then you theoretically you should be able to take, and I could be wrong with this, but you should be able to take your booster club money and put that into revenue sharing. And then these collectives, which this is not a knock on Team Boneyard at all. Well, as long as their collectives have to be a thing, I'm totally in favor of ours. But collectives are, to me, the antithesis of what's wrong with the NIL thing. When this NIL thing became about, these kids were supposed to have to do work. When it became a thing, we had a couple guys with small NIL deals with us where they made guest appearances on our podcast, and that's what they got paid for. Now kids are getting $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, $1 million from these collectives to not do a damn thing but play football. And so revenue sharing becomes a thing. The schools are going to be paying out the money. Great. Then you're an employee of the school. That's how it should be. And if you're good enough to go get a real NIL deal from Nissan or from Pizza Hut or from the local Dodge dealership, great. But the collectives, I hope, and again, this is not a knock on Team Boneyard. We have to have a collective right now, and I am involved in it and fully support it. But I hope when revenue sharing becomes a thing, you start see collectives being phased out.
Well, I can tell you firsthand, guys, I know this for a fact, that Team Boneyard, those guys are obviously doing it for free, and they're doing a lot for very little credit. And
and this was not a knock on them. This is a knock on the concept.
No, I know. I'm saying, no, I was just adding to your point that I know you've been very supportive of it. So what I was going to say is I think it's fair for me to say publicly, judging by what little I do know, that they don't want to be doing it, but they know that we need to do it. And so
exactly.
What I'm saying is, if they had their way, the collectives will be gone tomorrow, and it would be all over into the Pirate Club. And that's definitely where we're headed. Hey, by the way, Matt, our good friend Shell Powell from the Queen City says, greetings from the Queen City. Matt, I must say the story Jeff Carr told me this week almost made me fall out of my chair at lunch. I'll leave it at that until we talk live. But man, it was funny. LOL.
Matt, do you know what story he's referring to? Welcome in, Bubba Rosenbaum.
Hey, Bubba.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, I got a word for you. Clipboard.
Matt, do you care to comment on that story?
I don't know where. Anyway, I thought he would be there, so that's why I brought it up. Anyway, and then also, there's Matt. Hey, Matt, clipboard story.
Can you guys hear me?
We can now, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm having some Wi-Fi issues tonight. Yeah, that is a funny story. I know exactly what Shell's talking about. Yeah, Jeff knows it well too. But that story needs more time and a different I'll tell that one on Friday. How about that? We'll save it for the dinner.
Yeah, that works. Good. So you know what's great, Matt, is now people are going to be dying to know about the clipboard story. So if you want to know about the clipboard story, Bubba, Kyle, where are we going to be on Friday night?
Let Bubba promo it. Bubba, give that exact location of the Fisherman's Inn.
Yeah, just one moment here. I wasn't ready to go to that so early.
There you go.
Yay!
So yeah, I'm Jody Schultz, East Carolina legend, Hall of Famer, and also high draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. Jody, his family has had this business for decades. Fisherman's Inn there in Graysonville, Maryland, 3116 Main Street. Again, 3116 Main Street in Graysonville, Maryland. He's also the majority owner of the Hyatt right there next door. So definitely, if you don't have accommodations, you need somewhere to stay, give him a look there as well. And I know he at least did, as of a couple of days ago, have an ECU rate, and I think that was going to remain through December 25th as far as booking it by Christmas Day. But 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock on Friday night, Jody, in addition to several of his Ed Emery era teammates, will be there. And so we'll have some great seafood, talk some Pirate football, and get ready for Saturday's game with the Wolfpack.
Yeah, that's about 20 minutes from the stadium. It is waterfront, as you can see. So it should be a good time. We're going to have a private room. They have a full-service bar. So if you like a pirate beverage, they will be available. And great seafood menu, Chesapeake Bay, Maryland-style seafood, lots of crab on the menu, and other things. So should be a good time had by all.
I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, make sure you come by. There's a lot of people coming. In fact, let's challenge you. I think we can have 80 to 90 people in that room. So go ahead and get there as early as possible, right, guys? If you want to get in the room, we've got a private room just for you.
Yeah, bring people with you. Let's try to fill this sumbitch up. Bring a guest and have a good time.
Too.
Like I said, Matt will be signing autographs. And $5 per picture, unless you're an attractive female.
Yeah, plenty of room. I think the room
will love that.
The room per Jody Schultz. It'll hold about 80 people, 75 to 80 people. So as of right now, I know we at least have probably 25 or 30, if not more, committed. So, but plenty of room. Come on out to Fisherman's Inn.
In fact, I put it up in our group chat. So if you see that, they're on our show there, we put it in there, and it's actually called, guys, it's the Garden Room. The Garden Room is where we're going to be.
The Garden Room at the Fisherman's Inn. Okay, yes. Yeah, let's don't confuse people.
No, I know that.
Yeah. So Jay said he is not going to do the Birmingham Bowl. He's going to come straight in to go to our party, and then do the military bowl. So they're going to find somebody else to do the Birmingham Bowl.
He's actually holding out until they hire Kyle. Bowl Season Radio hires Kyle to be a commentator, and then he'll do the Birmingham Bowl.
I want to be the sideline. I'll be the sideline reporter.
You'd be great, Kyle.
You'd be great. I appreciate your confidence in it.
He looks great in heels. He looks very good in heels, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
Kyle, you're no Smacker Miles, but you'll do.
Jay, have you had a chance to work with Smacker?
I have not.
Would you like to work with Smacker?
Sure.
Put him on the spot.
Jay, are you a single man?
Say it again.
Are you a single man?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You're not sure if you're what? Okay, I think a relationship status is complicated. Okay, he's not sure if he's single. All right then.
Let's talk sports.
Anyway, yeah, all right. So
moving right along. Hey Jay, by the way, while we have you, I'm going to put you on the spot in a different way. What is your favorite Christmas movie and maybe your favorite Christmas music song? And we'll move on to football, but I want to get that in before.
Let's do Home Alone. Let's do Home Alone, and I'll do Silent Night.
What about you? So you don't like Ernest Saves Christmas?
Oh, I forgot about that one. That one's all right. I
That's
mean, it's okay.
That's
Is that
a joke.
yours?
That's a joke between Matt and Kyle. Though I just had to add that as a joke.
Okay.
Running joke there every year. It never gets old. Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk. You had a great. I was there at that game. You had a great game against NC State. Was it 2006 at Carter Finley?
Yeah, we won, and that's when that was Chuck Amato's last game, and then we were all celebrating on their home field. It was a great game.
No doubt, no doubt. In fact, I was Jay. I was I was at that game, and I was in a state section. I was a coach, and the coach who passed it gave me the 2 tickets, and so I'm sitting there, and during the game, you hear purple and gold and all that. It was great, but they started chanting, and I think it was about the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken, the fire Chuck Amato, and then they were like they wanted. It was so weird because they were like, fire Chuck Amato, we won't skip Holtz. I'm like, that's the opposing coach.
Yeah.
There, but Lou Holtz coached there, obviously. But anyway, it was that was a cool moment. And Matt, you had fun in Charlotte in 1996. I remember very well with that Scott Harley show down in Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium.
Absolutely, that game was a complete beatdown from start to finish, and that's one that Pirate fans will remember for, like you said, Scott Harley just had a monster game. Everything went right that night for the Pirates. And what did we score? Bubba will know. We hang, what, was it 52?
It was way up there, yeah.
You talking about that 96 game?
Yeah.
Yeah, 50-29.
There it is.
The game, the infamous Larry Shannon towel game.
Yeah, Scott Harley. What about the third play from scrimmage? For East Carolina, took it about 75 yards and then ran for 351 in the game.
I remember that game. I was driving down 15 Highway 1 and going to like the Pinehurst area, and listening to that game was fabulous. Jeff Charles, missed that guy so much, but that was sweet to me. Listen to that radio call. It feels like Scott Harley's still scoring like 30 years later.
Yeah, I remember watching it on ESPN2. It wasn't in Charlotte that day. Dr. Jerry Punch was doing play-by-play that day on ESPN2 as the Pirates beat down the Wolfpack from Charlotte. But another neutral site game for the Pirates and the Wolfpack coming up Saturday. We've had several. Obviously, the Peach Bowl, the before-mentioned game in Charlotte. There was a couple other games in Charlotte that we'd rather not talk about. So a lot of neutral site games in the history of this rivalry, and another one coming up. Of course, according to Dave Doran, it's not a rivalry, but this coming up Saturday from Annapolis, Maryland, as the Pirates and the Wolfpack go at it one more time on a neutral site, and hopefully the Pirates can find a way, despite the guys we've lost to the transfer portal, to get a W. Jay, you're calling this game, so you've probably researched it, I would think, pretty thoroughly from a X's and O's standpoint. What are your thoughts on the game from a non-biased perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a really good game. I really do. I mean, I think it's going to go down to the wire. I'm excited about just the fan bases, and I mean, I know what was said in the media, but it is a rivalry game. And if one side's viewing it not as a rivalry game, that's going to be a disadvantage for them. But I do think with the guys missing, there's a lot of unknown, and there's a lot of things we don't know as far as practice and how things are going in the motivation level for each team, because bowl games more than any other are really about the preparation and how bad you want to be there. And I know East Carolina is very excited, and I would assume their preparation is going well, and a lot of motivation with Blake Harrell getting the job, and want to go out in his first bowl game appearance and put on a good showing. And I would expect NC State to be motivated too, even though Dave Doran said he viewed as a rivalry. I do think they will come and be ready to play. I do think that the whole question is going to be, without Concepcion, who's going to step up for NC State. And Noah Rogers, I think, is going to be the next guy to come through, and then the whole situation with Tony Gibson not being at NC State, that's going to be a big kind of plot there as far as their defensive side. So I mean, there's question marks on the NC State side, maybe more than NC State or more than ECU. But I just think, it's really, so to get to the question, at the end of the day, in these ball games, is going to come down to the turnovers and which quarterback can protect the ball better.
Do you think, I mean, you mentioned you think more question marks on the NC State side. I mean, we lost 3 starters on defense with IBM, Sakiah Barker, CJ Mims, plus 1 starter on offense with Sewell. But I think Sakiah Barker, to me, is a huge loss.
Well, yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't have said more on their side. I mean, it's probably equal on both sides. But yeah, I mean, with East Carolina's guys leaving, it's about who's going to step in those roles and their level of play. And I mean, I do think with Barker being gone, I mean, obviously Sowell's a big name on the offensive side, but I think on the defensive side, that's where the issue may be for the Pirates. I think on offense, I think this is a ball game too. I still think you've got to start with the running game. I think the Pirates need to run the ball to be successful in this game.
I wanted to ask you, Jay, with NC State, with Dave Doeren, the very fact that, like Kyle said, it's not a rivalry, he's kind of downplaying it. But for me personally, you would think that it would be the opposite. He's had very good success with beating North Carolina because he makes it a big deal. You would think that Doeren would have that strategy that let's make this, because I feel like that they're trying to cover the fact they know there's a chance that East Carolina could win. So it's not a big deal. They're not a rival. The fact that they've had a lot of people. Yes, we've had a lot of guys leave, but it comes down to, it seems like with bowl games, the want to. Matt and Bubba and Jay, y'all have all played before. Kyle's been following college football for 3 decades or more. Just the fact that it seems like with these bowl games, with all these people opting out and there's so much uncertainty, don't you guys think that the want to plays a big deal?
I don't think there's a chance that Dave Doeren and his staff aren't taking it seriously. Now, are they getting through to their players? How many of these guys were on the roster a couple years ago when they really should have lost in Greenville when we let them off the hook? But yeah, I know what Dave Doeren said as far as, I don't know if we play frequently enough for it to be a rivalry, but I also know the way he acted in the way he's approached it. After losing his first 2 games to East Carolina in 2013 and 2016, when he had the chance to kick us when we were down in 2018, he surely did it. And, he was trying to freeze a kicker up 58-0. And then obviously, beat us 34-6, Mike Houston's first game in 2019. And then, as I mentioned, in 2022, we really let the Wolfpack off the hook. Defense played very well that day, and offensively it was a little too conservative for my liking. And especially when you had been so poor in the kicking game, and that was the infamous missed PAT, and then for some reason you choose to play for a field goal when the PAT field goal team had been a disaster all day.
Yeah, no doubt. Hopefully, if it gets down to a kick this time, we make it. But I'm like y'all. Despite all the guys sitting out, I think it's going to be a good ball game. I hope it's a good ball game, and I actually hope it's a blowout. I hope the Pirates blow them out. That'd be even better. But I'll take a win any way we can get it, 1 point or 20 points or 50 points. Go ahead.
And Kyle mentioned Sakiah Barker's absence. He, of course, missed the entire game against Charlotte. We know how that went. And then he also missed the first half against North Texas, also not a very good half of football. So Mike Edwards, he's going to be the one with the green light, communicating with the defensive staff, be it Blake Harrell or otherwise, on the mic. And with that being said, I'm very intrigued to see how the Pirate defense plays with Sakiah Barker's absence, but then also a starting corner in Isaiah Brown-Murray, and then also CJ Mims, who played a significant number of snaps on the defensive line. And, all 3 of those, have landed at their new programs. Barker at SMU IBM at Virginia Tech and CJ Mims at North Carolina after a short commitment to Wake Forest. And then offensively, Chase Sowell and Winston Wright stand out. Winston Wright obviously was out of eligibility and opted out to prepare for the draft, which is, if he's healthy, I think that's a mistake on his part. But I know going into that the game against Navy, it seems like he wasn't 100%. So tough to really pass any judgment there, not knowing the status of his health. But it gives a great opportunity for Yannick Smith and Anthony Smith, and really need those two guys to step up and make a lot of plays that we did not make against Navy. You know, we didn't throw the ball accurately that day, and then when we did, we didn't catch it.
Troy Patterson is a guy that people have talked about potential for so long, and he'll get his opportunity in this bowl game with Winston Wright out to live up to that potential. He's got one game to do it, and believe me, son, if you want to be remembered, show out against NC State. That's what people are going to remember. So he has his opportunity, and Patterson's got skills. So, you know, I actually think, despite the loss at receiver, I still like our receiving core. Do you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do. And
yeah.
I really like Patterson on the jet sweeps. I think he's really effective when you get him in motion and you give him the ball on the jet sweeps. He's been really good there. And
yeah, no doubt.
So
he'll have lots of opportunities on Saturday against the Wolfpack.
Hey, by the way, Will says State has not won a bowl game in like 7 years. That's right, Will. Since 2017, they've lost like 4 or 5 straight. Doran hates EC from the backlash he took from losing to us multiple times early in his career. He will have those guys ready. I don't doubt that they'll be prepared. Will, I agree with you 1,000%. But I think that East Carolina, the players, you look at those seniors, guys. Think about this. Thinking about this driving home, knowing we were going to have a show tonight. Think about those seniors that they were staring a losing season in the face when Houston got fired October 20th, 3-4, and they may not have gone to a bowl game. You know damn well they worked their tails off to get to a bowl game. And then on top of that, it's East Carolina at the Dayville Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. You don't think that if that won't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Oh, we'll be jacked up. I mean, we'll be ready to play. It's just, execution and talent. But no, we'll be ready. Guys like Raji Harris and other seniors, they'll be ready to go. It's an opportunity to beat NC State. And you know what? They want to call it our Super Bowl. Fine. You know what? It is our bowl game. And it is a big deal. It's a big deal, to win a bowl game. It's a big deal to beat NC State. It's a big deal to beat any school from the ACC when you're so-called Group of 5 school. So you know what? Let's embrace it. Let's embrace all the bull crap they say, and let's own it. And then when we beat them, and they say, well, it was their Super Bowl, we won't up to play them. Well, so what? It don't matter, baby. You lost. So, if we're going to win, we're not going to out-talent them. There's some execution. I would run Matt, Jay, Bubba. Do you agree with this? It's a bowl game on offense. I would run every gadget play, go for it on 4th down, fake kicks. I would bring out every little annoying thing in the world that a school like NC State hates East Carolina for.
Yeah, John David Baker here earlier this week, I guess, in his most recent press conference, said that thing that you just mentioned, and as far as utilizing everything we have in our arsenal.
Hey guys,
what are you saving it for now?
Hey guys, Kyle, your buddy James is coming after you. So
what did he say?
This is funny. Laughing out loud. He said, I remember when Kyle said East Carolina that we had to take Charlotte as a rival, like we were going to take EC as a rival. And some of y'all were like, no, Charlotte is not a rival.
No, he's not coming after me.
There's other people, yeah.
No,
I still don't think they're a rival. I just think they smoked Mike Houston's ass.
You got to take them as a rival. You got to have that. Matt, you're having audio issues for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I understand why people would feel that way, but I sure do after what's happened to us the last 2 years against them. it just blew my mind the way we weren't ready to play and our lack of energy and effort that day at Charlotte this year.
Yeah, you got to. It's kind of the same thing. If you with like NC State has done to us, or we've done to NC State and North Carolina over the years. When one team takes us a rivalry, the other one doesn't. That happens a lot. And so what I'm hoping is we get the Charlotte effect in reverse against NC State because we're a much better team than Charlotte, but we weren't that day. And I do think NC State's a more talented team than us, but we just got to be better than them this Saturday. That's all. Just one game.
Yeah, we got twins for Matt Semenza there for a second.
So Matt's back, hopefully with better audio.
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Can you guys hear me a little better now?
Yeah, I hear Carmelo.
Yeah, I even got Carmelo in the background.
Everything is great. Yeah, everything's great now. You hear Carmelo.
All right, good.
Yeah, so guys, here's a great question from Brad, one of our regulars. Trivia question: who was the president of the United States when NC State won a ACC championship? The answer: Jimmy Carter. Guys, 1979. I was in, wait for it, first grade. The last time that I know Bubba and Kyle were not even born the last time NC State won a title in the ACC. And last year they had a chance to win 10 games and they lost their bowl game. And I think Doran just can't, it's the thing is that he needs to embrace that East Carolina is a rivalry game. And
no, he doesn't.
He doesn't? Okay.
No, he does not. He does not take the approach that it's not a rivalry game. I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to keep saying it's not a rival. Needs to talk it down. Needs to come out and say they're beneath us, that we are beneath them. Rather, needs just to say. I hope this week they come out and say it's hard to get up for the Pirates. Say something like the Pirates are beneath us, and just more of that kind of stuff. That's what he needs.
Okay.
Bubba, with Matt and Jay here, wanted to get into portal discussion of guys we brought in from the portal so far. Got a commitment today from Maryland. It was a silent commitment for a while. Apparently, I guess now it's finally gone public. Offensive lineman from Maryland. So what are you seeing out of the portal, starting with the offensive lineman from Maryland?
Yeah, the young man from Maryland you referenced, offensive tackle Kyle Long. He's played in 19 games over the last 2 seasons, started 6. I believe all those starts came in 2023. I'm not sure, if he may have battled injuries or anything of that nature this year, but seems like a quality pickup originally from either St. Louis or Kansas City. We also, like you mentioned, added a couple of offensive linemen yesterday, and one from El Camino College, and then one from Newberry College, a Division II program, but the kid's originally from Spartanburg, South Carolina, right there in the upstate. I can't recall his name. Last name is Cooper, and last name starts with a T, but 6'5", 295. Benches 440 pounds. Very impressive numbers. It seems like on the squat as well. He wears his weight well, as they say, and not a ton of loose weight on him. And he came very highly regarded by some analysts.
Lots of FBS offers.
Yeah, which just goes to show you, guys develop late, guys get overlooked, and just because he's coming from Division II, you see that obviously more frequently with skill guys than you do linemen. But very excited to add him to the mix. So 3 offensive linemen right there. You have Tegan Wilk coming back to East Carolina after spending a year at Houston. Tegan's, of course, the safety. He'd been very good against the run, really had a nose for the football. Maybe not quite as good against the pass, but very excited to have Tegan Wilk back in the purple and gold. Then you had a big wide receiver pickup from the University of Oklahoma. He and Jaquez Petaway. He's a guy that's a legit, 10-5, 100-meter runner. And I believe originally from Houston, Texas, was a top 10 receiver in America coming out of high school, maybe some publications as high as 6th or 8th in the wide receiver rankings. During his 2 years with the Sooners, had maybe like 16 or 17 catches for about 150, 175 yards. But he's someone to really keep an eye on going into next year. He's 5'10". I would imagine that he'll probably play in the slot. We shall see. But you think about Anthony Smith coming back, Yannick Smith, and then you throw in Jaquez Petaway. Imagine Anthony Smith and with his 4.3 speed and Jaquez Petaway on the same side of the field. That could be pretty challenging to cover.
Yeah, and there'll be more receivers to come, I would imagine.
You also a couple more. You
the
had
corner from Western Carolina.
Yeah, very nice pickup there, an all-conference player in the Southern Conference. Very
Second
good.
team All-American.
Very good FCS league, and yeah, second team All-American. Jordy Lowry had 6 interceptions, and then I think 10 PBUs, and doing that for a pretty good Western Carolina team. And I saw some state people chiming in saying how well Jordy Lowry played against them in this year's season opener, and obviously he'll be opening next year with the game for the Pirates against the Wolfpack in the season opener.
I think that's where, to me, in my opinion, where somebody like IBM wanted the 150 grand. I would say this kid is just as good, if not an upgrade. Would you agree?
Yeah, seems to be haven't had a chance to watch a ton of film on him, but yeah, I think at the very least it'd be a push, but definitely seems to be an upgrade.
Exactly.
No, guys. JR, Johnny Stats asked, was Zakai gone? Is there any chance that someone other than Mike Edwards will be our green dot guy on D? What do you think, Matt?
Well,
no,
JR,
Harrell said it would be Edwards.
Yeah, in post-practice media gathering today, and Blake Harrell said, it could change, but odds are, he said, like Kyle said, it's going to be Mike Edwards.
And more chance to prepare. This isn't a week preparation, for far as who's going to have the earpiece in. They've had a chance to prepare for this. So, you're going to miss Barker, and God knows against NC State you would have liked to have him, but at least we've had a chance to prepare. Where in the other times where we didn't have him, we didn't have any notice.
Right. You had for this game 2.5, 3 weeks, as you say.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Matt,
Matt, Jay, you guys care a chance to chime in on any of the portal pickups?
We also a couple that we hadn't mentioned in addition to Tegan Wilk from Houston. We also picked up a defensive lineman, Justin Benton, originally from the state of Georgia, but transferring in from the Houston Cougars. I want Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's like 6'1", 290. He was a top 50 or 60 defensive lineman in America coming out of high school. And then also, I'm guessing it's pronounced Nadam Tucker, originally from New York City, but a linebacker, 6'3", 235, 240 pounds. Sounds more like a linebacker from Matt's era than opposed to a linebacker in 2025.
Matt, do you get excited when you hear about a linebacker from New York City coming to play for East Carolina? Does that get your juices going? Then he's got a build, sounds like from your era. You got some Northeastern guys. Does that get you going?
Yeah, I love to see the Northeastern guys come down to ECU. I mean, we've had a lot of good ones over the years when you think about it. Libiano comes to mind, the PA guy. But, yeah, it's nice to get a little representation. And, I'll tell you, I really I think, and I want to bring Jay in here in a minute too, but I really think that the addition of Petaway from Oklahoma, it just seems to fit perfectly. His skill set his ability to go into the slot. And from what I understand, he's the type of guy that can kind of make people miss in a phone booth. He's got that short space quickness. So he's the guy, he's just what the doctor ordered for this offense, because when you have the outside guys like we do, he fits in seamlessly into this offense. And I like the way we're attacking the O-line. We just brought in, 2 guys with a lot of length, the transfer from Maryland. And then hopefully I'm saying this right, Bubba, is it Sarnafsky? Am I even close on that? The tackle?
I'm guessing it's Trnavsky.
Okay, all right.
Smith.
Well, what's his first name? Just give me his first name. I'll go with
Cooper.
that.
Cooper T.
Cooper. We'll go with Cooper. So, by all accounts, guys, he's a very solid player, and he's got a lot of length. Nice addition there at tackle. And I think we're going to need a few more on the offensive line, and I think we're going to need, honestly, I think we're going to need at least 5 on the interior D line if you can make it work from a numbers perspective. But I think you need 5 considering all the losses this year. Jay, I'm going to bring you in. Jay, have you had a chance to check out any of these new portal additions?
I believe Jay had to step away for a moment. He'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, the portal additions that excite me the most, the offensive lineman from Maryland, and this is without even doing, any video research, but you got an offensive lineman from Maryland that started 6 games in the Big Ten. I don't really need to know much more than that. The junior, excuse me, the FCS All-American. I remember watching him play against NC State and having a good game. And if you're an All-American at any level, you're good. And IBM was one that pissed me off, wanting that kind of money for a very mediocre talent. And I'm really shocked that he got anything close to that from Virginia Tech, if he truly did. But I'm glad to see we were able to replace him. So those are the 2 that excite me the most: the offensive lineman from Maryland and the cornerback from Western Carolina, who was an All-American. Those are the 2 that stand out to me so far in this class.
Well, I believe that I think Petway is the guy that not that the other guys are not great, but the wide receiver room guys for me is probably the best room still, and to me that's an upgrade. And being from I know Oklahoma hasn't been the Oklahoma that we know. However, I believe the guy Matt, Bubba, Kyle, Jay, do y'all remember? I think he's a 4-star. So anytime you get
and he played quite a bit as a freshman. Didn't play as much this year, I don't think, but no, he's talented. I just, my thing about, and I'm glad to have him, but we always get wide receiver talent here. Wide receivers are, I don't say easy to come by, but it seems like we always have good wide receivers. So offensive linemen a bit tougher to come by, and so are good corners.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely see where you're coming from there, Kyle. As far as yes, it seems like Jaquez Petaway has a very high ceiling, a lot of potential, but I love the proven body of work from Jordy Lowry at Western Carolina with the 6 picks and a lot of pass breakups, and then also a guy that's had a lot of success and started 6 games in the Big Ten in Kyle Long, the offensive tackle from Maryland.
Yep.
Justin Benton from Houston is his favorite. What Axel said. Sorry, guys.
What's that?
Yeah, so I was going to just chime in too. Just going back to wide receivers for a minute. In addition to the guy we were just talking about in the portal, Petaway. This incoming freshman Johnny Williams just blew up in the Shrine Bowl, and he had 3 touchdowns in the Shrine Bowl, and I think he might have even been. I think he was the MVP of the game. So
yeah, he was.
He's a guy that's going to. I expect him to play next year. He could be a punt returner. He could be a kick returner. I think he's going to be a guy that can come in as a reserve and be a playmaker for you. He's a dynamic athlete with the ball in his hands. I really liked his signing when I watched his film. Just really quick feet. And when he gets in the open field, watch out. So you think about just more and more weapons you continue to add to it. And I think what you're going to see now from Caton Hauser is he's just going to continue to get more and more comfortable in the offense. And, I think one of my biggest takeaways watching this bowl game this week is I just want to see his continued progression, in particular against a really solid defense this week. I want to see how Hauser handles the whole thing up in Annapolis, and if he's able just to make, really good decisions and distribute the football.
Hey, by the way, guys, I want to get you, speaking of which, just want to get your take. You were talking about, to add to your point, Matt, with Hauser. Hauser said that he got what he wanted, but in other words, he wants more weapons around him, right? So you Petaway, you get Williams, like you made the great point, the freshman sensation. Looks like Angela's asking. They're asking about quarterbacks with Garcia. It's Jake Garcia is the quarterback, but we'll have Hauser, and we also have Hodge.
Who is asking?
Angela Robertson.
Okay, as of right now, Hauser is definitely staying. We know that. As of right now, Jake Garcia is staying. His family moved here, so Jake is staying. Cole Hodge is coming. He should be healthy.
What about Jeter?
He's so again, Jeter. As of right now, again, the portal. You'll have guys that can declare for the portal. I think January 1st again. So we may have some defections after the bowl game. If we hold on to, you almost think with Garcia coming back and Cole Hodge on the roster, you almost think Jeter will enter the portal. I was shocked to hear Garcia staying. I'm fine with it. If he can cut down on those interceptions, he's definitely a quality backup. But yeah, it looks like we're going to have both Hauser and Garcia.
Yeah, that's a great quarterback room. I mean, if you can keep all those guys intact, I really love these Hodge brothers. One is a wide receiver, the other one's a quarterback. You look at their high school film, guys. I mean, it's pretty impressive. They put up huge numbers in the state of Kentucky, and won state championships there. So those are some really good players, and you got to feel really good about that room. Now, I really hope Garcia stays. I really hope Garcia stays. Just for, you never know what's going to happen. I mean,
he says he is.
What if Hauser, listen, knock on wood, what if he has an injury early in the season? You now have a very capable backup who you feel pretty good can go and win games. So, Bubba, go ahead. I know you're about to say something.
Yeah. First, before I go back to the point I was going to make about quarterback, you guys mentioned Johnny Williams, a.k.a. Johnny Cash on X. And yes, he was the MVP of the Shrine Bowl.
Go ahead, Johnny.
But then, yes, as far as the Hodge brothers, Cole Hodge, Louisville came in and tried to steal him from us at the last minute. And then he unfortunately sustained an injury during basketball. And because of that, did not enroll this year, and he's going to be enrolling mid-year. So otherwise, he'd have been enrolling at least in the summer, if not back last spring. And I'm pretty sure he would have been enrolled in the summer because there was something they were trying to get him in as an early enrollee, and just with everything there at the school he attends in Louisville, it was not going to work out. But yeah, very excited about him, and he stuck with the Pirates. When Louisville came in right there and tried to take him away, and then you had, and with Louisville, you of course have a lot of background with the quarterback position there. With their head coach Brom, having played there at Louisville, and some of those great Louisville quarterbacks like Chris Redmond have coached Cole Hodge in high school.
Yeah, so quarterback room solid right now. Hopefully we can hold them to them all. Again, I would think Jeter, if Garcia is staying, is going to transfer. I could be wrong on that. I have not heard that. That's pure speculation on my part. But hopefully we'll hold them to them all. Guys, anything else we want to talk about the portal before we kind of change topics a little bit? Any more bold discussion we want before we is Sonny still is Sonny?
I think Jay's back with us now. Jay, Matt a few minutes ago asked you Have you had a chance to take a look at any of these portal pickups for East Carolina? And then we'll talk about the coaching staff additions.
You know what? I have, and they look good on paper. I haven't, looked and seen any of their film or kind of looked at them and dug deep on them. But I mean, initially, when you see it, I mean, it looks impressive, and I think we've been very aggressive attacking some of our needs.
Jay is at Walmart.
I'm Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, okay.
Hey,
that was
Christmas
a good call,
season,
out,
buddy. It's Christmas season, buddy. You got to do the shopping while you talk, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Jay is always traveling, guys. Too. This guy. I mean, he's the road warrior on the weekends, so he's probably trying to fit everything.
Hey Jay, are you buying us any Christmas gifts?
Yeah, but it's a surprise. It's a surprise.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say there's a certain book or books that you're buying for Kyle.
I'm actually buying kegs. I'm at the ABC store buying for the tailgate party.
All right, sounds good.
Man. I knew that would get everybody excited.
Hey, Matt, Kyle wants to do some keg stands. You and Jay can
Oh boy, let's get the funnel out. Let's get the beer funnel out on Friday.
You know what the hell is a keg stand? I don't even know what that is.
Really? Wow. A keg stand is when you
I don't remember what it is.
Really? Oh, okay. I did many of them at ECU, so I could tell you exactly what it is.
You go upside.
Not on game day. Not on game day. It was on the off days.
You did it on the side.
Season.
No. So essentially, what you do is you put your head essentially on top of the keg, so you're upside down. Somebody holds your feet, and then you're drinking beer essentially from the keg upside down. Keg stand.
That seems completely moronic.
It gets you drunker faster. That's welcome.
You guys want to talk about gravity bongs now?
We better not. Not.
Beer pong.
This is.
Oh, okay.
All right, moving right along. Hey,
it's legal in the state of Maryland.
Yeah, well, you can do it there. There you go. Holy cow! Is that Kyle?
It just amazes me. I won't even get on a tangent about something here that I want to, but it just amazes me how something that is completely harmful to your body, has absolutely no positive effects, is completely legal and socially accepted. I don't even. I'm on just change subject.
All right. Sounds good to me. JR, let's go to JR. He says, if the Pirates beat State, they'll be the first team to throw more than 20 interceptions and win 8 games since the 2009 Ole Miss Rebels.
Let me tell you something. Was that Johnny Roberts?
Yeah.
JR has more facts and stuff. JR needs to work in like something. What does Johnny do for a living? Because he needs to work in like sports information or something. Because he has more facts and information than any SID I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, like JR could be like a analytics guy for like a Major League Baseball team.
Moneyball.
Exactly, like breaking down stats. JR is such a great contributor to this show. We really appreciate it. I always bring it. I don't even know. Yeah, like where do you find this stuff, JR? It's
like Dixon. It's like Dixon Williams is batting. He's batting 367 at night against left-handed pitching when it's under 50 degrees.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's a great stat. And oddly enough, Ole Miss, and that was before Lane Kiffin was there, obviously. But still, I mean, that's, with JDB coming from Ole Miss, if we win 8, I mean, what is the irony? That if we win 8, we would be the first team to do it, throwing that amount of interceptions. And it's a guy coming from an Ole Miss offense, even though a completely different system back in 2009.
And nobody's brought up the most important stat, Johnny. I know you already know this, Johnny, but I'll take credit for it. This one, if we beat State, they will have a losing season. So there's some motivation for you right there. 6-7, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I just beating State's motivation enough, but having them have a losing season would be even better.
Yeah, no doubt. Since we're talking about really, really quick too, I'm just giving some shout outs here. We mentioned JR, but have so many great contributors to this show. Axel's been on it all year, man. Appreciate Axel. Will Landon has been bringing it all year too, so we appreciate Will. Hopefully, we can see everybody at the event this Friday.
How about Pays? Pays.
That was my
Are you coming by Friday? Are you coming to the Fisherman's Inn Friday? Will Pays be there?
I hope so. Pays and I got to hang out. Pays and I go way, way back to WZMB 91.3, the zombie days. College radio, baby. He's coming. He'll be there. Look.
There you go. Pays is going to be there. You go. Pays will be there. And we're going to have a special political debate between Matt and B. Pays.
No, that's not.
Don't worry, Pays. It's not going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Nope. I won't do it. I'm on my
crossfire. No crossfire.
Bowl week, and I will only talk football.
All right. So we'll save the political debate for a different time.
And I'll talk bad Christmas movies, too. How about that?
I will do that, too. Yeah.
Hey, the ultimate question is already by Brandon Simmons, of course, the great running back for East Carolina.
Is Brandon going to be there?
I don't know. We need to find out. But he asked a question, guys.
Brandon, if you're coming to the bowl, come to our party Friday night, and we will get you. We would like to have you on as a guest. Brandon's always a great contributor whenever he's on the show.
Guys, guess what? Brandon's already asked a question. Are we done with the football part? Or we got to talk to the coaches, right?
No, we got to talk about the coaches, and then Angela has a question about our specialist.
Now, Brandon loves Christmas discussions. See, if you're a friend of Brandon Simmons on Facebook, he posts constantly asking about people's favorite Christmas movie songs. Today, he was asking people's top 3 favorite Christmas cookies. So he may actually be rushing us to the Christmas discussion.
Yeah, and he also asked about a certain movie being a Christmas movie, and I'm not.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. I'll say that.
Bubba, go ahead with the coaching hires. Well, before we go to the coaches hires, Angela Robertson says here, I asked a question about our place kicker, our field goal kicker. Are we getting one in the portal? Isn't our kicker leaving? Andrew Conrad, he'll be back. I think you're referring to our punter, Luke Larson. Odds are, I haven't heard definitively yet, but I think he's leaning toward to moving on, but we shall see. But and then I know I'm trying to remember the other punter's name we have in the program, but we may very well bring in another, and then you'd have Noah Perez back as well. As far as place kickers, Andrew Conrad and Noah Perez.
What about Jay?
Go ahead.
I wish we could get a kicker that could in terms not field goal kicking, not place kicking. Conrad's fine. You got to get more consistent on the extra points. Noah had his moments too, but can we get a kicker that can put the damn ball through the end zone, or at least in the end zone every time?
It's a great point. Go ahead, Bubba.
How about the year that Laith Marjan had for South Alabama? I don't. Be it Mike Houston, or some others. ECU staff member told him, and things and players improve. Things like this happen all the time. This is not pointing the finger at any coach, but just pretty interesting to see the year that Laith Marjan had for South Alabama and went 15 out of 16 or 16 out of 17, and had a long of about 49 or 50 yards, and I think his only miss came from 40 plus. And he's an all-conference performer, I believe, there at South Al. And then he ended up, I'm trying to remember, he entered the portal. I think he may be at a Big 12 school. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, while you're looking that up, Bubba, great point there by Kyle. That's something that's a huge factor for a team to be able to have a kicker that can force touchbacks. And maybe John, since do we still have Johnny Robertson? Maybe JR knows the percentage of kickoffs this year that resulted in a touchback for ECU. I'd be curious to know, because
not many,
it seemed like.
And Laith Marjan, I will look up that information. I'm sure Johnny may have it faster, but Laith Marjan's new home is for the Kansas Jayhawks.
There you go, from East Carolina to South Alabama to Kansas. So so good for him. Sorry we ran him off. But, in terms of if Luke Larson moves on, I think he's 42 now. something like that, maybe 43. There's punters out there. You can get a punter. I mean, I'm not. Look, God knows, one time we didn't have one. We had a wide receiver punting for us. But you should be able to find a punter. So if he does move on, hopefully he makes that decision sooner rather than later, so we can find somebody.
And guys, Jay Searles, that is, says, any word on expected attendance for bowl? I looked on Military Bowl's ticket site and it shows available tickets on both sides. Home side has less availability, but I believe the bowl keeps some tickets for sponsors, etc. My guess is 32,000. And by the way, the stadium holds 34,000 guys. So
no, it's gonna be less than that. They were saying, I got information. Apparently, it's bad information that we had sold out of our allotment. But something like the bowl saying ticket sales are average. So 32,000 would be pushing a sellout. I'm gonna guess 20 to 25,000 is going to be my guess for attendance.
Yeah, as far as East Carolina, between what we sold, I don't know what our allotment was between what we sold, and then also we'll distribute, for the band, for staff, be it coaches and their families, players, etc. We're going to distribute around 5,000 tickets to East Carolina, and then a lot of folks, went through the Military Bowl.
I did.
Yeah, to get better seats, which is understandable. So it will not surprise me. As far as East Carolina having at least 7,000 to 8,000 Pirate fans in attendance, we shall see. And NC State, I have not heard.
I think we'll push 10,000, Bubba.
I agree. But I think in the worst case, 7.5, 8.
I think a lot of people purchase their tickets from the Military Bowl website because I've talked to multiple people that have. I know I did. I purchased them the night they went on sale. I always get seats in the handicap section. I didn't even want to try to deal with that going through ECU. I just went to the Military Bowl website, got my tickets, and was done. And I think a lot of people did that. There was people complaining about prices. There was a lot of complaints for this bowl game. A lot of people complaining about prices. A lot of people complaining about weather. And a lot of people were complaining because they wanted the Myrtle Beach Bowl instead of the Military Bowl because of weather. Well, unless it ends up raining Saturday, which is being taken in the forecast. Right now, the forecast for Saturday is game temperatures in the 40s. Myrtle Beach Bowl today, I don't know the temperature in Myrtle Beach, but it wouldn't have been much different than it was here. And it was about 38, 40 degrees here today.
Yep.
So we wouldn't have got much better weather in Myrtle Beach unless it rains. And right now, they're calling for clouds and kickoff time 46 degrees, but no rain.
Yeah, and temperature may have actually been a little cooler in Myrtle Beach.
Exactly.
Sounds like great football weather right there, and certainly not that bad.
No,
a lot worse.
Not considering that. I think today the high in Annapolis was 31, and they had a winter weather advisory for freezing rain. So yeah, it could have been a lot worse just a couple of days earlier.
Yep.
And so Angela Robertson said that she and her husband are taking the bus, and that we've sold out 2 buses for that Pirate Club bus trip. B Pays also said hotels are sold out, if that's a good sign.
Yeah, that is a good sign. Obviously, there's still rooms. By the way, if you need a room, again at the Hyatt in Graysonville, which is just across the bridge there from Annapolis, right by the Fisherman's Inn where we're doing the show. There are still rooms there, and they have an ECU rate. So if you do need a room, the Hyatt in Graysonville, Maryland, again where the Fisherman Inn is at, that is on an island, Bubba. Do you know the name of that island?
Kent Island, or is that what you're talking about?
Kent Island, correct. Kent Island, yes. So that is where we'll be Friday night for the bowl. So yeah, again, for those of you Pays brought up hotels, so if you need a room, there's still rooms at the Hyatt there in Graysonville by the Fisherman's Inn. So get a room and you get ECU rate.
And by the way, Will, I got a chance to meet Will, guys. Will's been bringing it. He said, "What are you guys doing for tailgating beforehand?" Good question. I heard the
nothing planned
tailgating party, a massive tailgate party hosted by Matt Semenza.
See, the Military Bowl, guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. The Military Bowl has one side of their stadium, which they have a corporate, I don't know if corporate's the right word. It's a pay tailgate. You don't have to pay to go to the tailgate, but there will be tons of food trucks, merch vendors, things to do, photo ops, all that kind of stuff, an organized tailgate, I guess, if you will, on one side of the stadium. So if you didn't plan to grill or bring a keg, there will be lots of things for sale on. I'd have to look at. I can picture it in my head. It's on one of the two sides of the stadium. Just go to the Military Bowl website.
It's on the home side. It's the home side.
Okay, so our side. So yeah, there will be parking in that area too if you prepaid for parking. So I will probably park over on that side and enjoy the mini food truck options that will be available. And like I said, I know the Budweiser Clydesdales will be there for photo ops. And you got the Military Bowl parade. And I know Matt loves parades. They're his favorite thing. Matt, you're going to be there for the parade.
Do parades. I can't do parades.
I know they're your favorite. But
hey, Matt.
The Military Bowl parade. I've never. See, that's one of the. I don't see. Matt hates. There's a couple of things Matt hates that I find interesting. He hates parades and he hates concerts. And
I hate concerts.
I'm convinced Matt's just never been to the right concert. I guarantee, Matt, you come with me to a Cody Jinks concert, and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, Matt. Brian Pay says Matt Semenza brown liquor and beer tailgate. How about that?
Oh yeah, I'll be having my Kraken pays. So if you want to have a nice glass
I
of
hear
Kraken,
you can get lots of Kraken there in Maryland.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll be.
You mean rum? Okay, all right. I got.
Yeah. I think you guys. I think Pays knows what I'm talking about. The Kraken rum. It's a tremendous rum.
But
that was a crack joke.
Because he's buying the first round.
Pays is buying the first round. Pays is buying the first round Friday night.
No, Justin
Butts. Justin, are you going to be there Friday night, or are you going to be committed to the Pirate Club function, the welcome?
I don't know.
I know. You think ECU is going to be mad for us directly competing with them?
No, because you can go to the welcome party and then come to our party.
That's true, and we don't charge $15 a head.
There's a question for Sonny. Sonny, are you still there, Sonny? Sonny still there?
Apparently not.
I'm here.
There he is. There he is. Jay's back.
Sonny, what's your drink of choice at this bowl game? You got one? I know you're going to be working, so you can't really partake. But
besides Jaeger bombs,
God, mighty Jaeger. Oh,
no, I'm
actually I was told I got some. Sorry, I got some breaking news. I heard that Jay is going to do some keg stands before the broadcast, so it should be really entertaining.
I'll do it.
What is your drink of choice? Do you have a preference?
I mean, I'm usually like vodka, something boring like vodka soda.
All right.
I'm willing to try something else though.
Jay, are you shopping for a entire football team?
Thank you so much. Of course. Merry Christmas. I am. Yeah, I am. As a good athlete here, I waited till the last minute, so I'm doing everything right now. I haven't even been home. Have a good one. Thanks. I haven't even been home from Myrtle Beach yet. I went directly from the bowl game to shopping.
Oh wow! Okay.
Guys, if anybody wants to know my drink of choice, Buffalo Trace. I'll take it by the shot. That's my go-to. So if you want to buy me a drink Friday, Buffalo Trace on ice.
All right. I like that.
When are you guys all getting up there Friday night or Thursday or?
Oh, I think we're all arriving Friday afternoon, and hopefully we'll
Wednesday night.
You going Wednesday night?
I'm joking.
Oh.
Christmas night, baby. Christmas night.
I think we're all arriving Friday afternoon, and I know I'm going to try to be over at the Fisherman's Inn by about 5:30. I don't know about everybody else.
Where are you gonna be before the game? What time are y'all getting out there?
The tailgate.
Yeah.
I haven't even. I'm going to do, like I said before. I'm going to do the. I'm going to park on the pay tailgate side where you can. They're going to have food trucks out, which is the home side. I don't know what time we'll get there. Matt, what are your tailgates plans, Matt, Bubba, Dave?
I know. I can tell you, I know Bubba mentioned the idea, just checking around, checking out the campus of Navy a little bit in the morning, and then, most likely head over to the tailgate lots several hours before the game, get a good tailgate in. I don't really know details yet, but Sonny, we need to meet up if you can, even for a little bit.
I will for sure. No, I was just gonna say, let's fire up our group chat. Let me know, because I can get out there early and say hey to everybody and hang out before I go in.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I'll drink water, but
yeah,
I'll still be out there to hold you guys up on the keg stand.
Oh man, hey guys, can we get a keg and then we can actually hold Kyle's legs and he can do that and then it'll go viral.
Oh, that would be
Dave,
classic.
I'll tell you what. No, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna see. We're gonna do a cast stand with me. We're gonna see if Dave can hold me up by himself.
Hey, I'll take one for the team, baby. I'll take one for the team. I'll practice all week.
You practice hard.
Hey guys, though, hit me up though, for real though. I'll come meet up with y'all. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
thanks,
definitely, Jay. We'll do, man.
And guys, hey, I gotta run. I'm sorry, but so good talking to y'all.
Yeah, enjoyed it. Don't forget our gifts.
Jay, good luck. Good luck calling the Birmingham Bowl and the Military Bowl, and try to stay partial if you can.
I will. I'll see what I can do. But no,
Jay,
y'all are awesome. Yeah, it's great being on with you guys.
Jay, have a great Christmas, buddy.
Yeah, you too. Christmas. Yeah, look forward to seeing y'all. It'll be a lot of fun. Glad we're all going to be there.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care, Jay.
All right. Justin says, by the way, guys, that he wants to do a group photo of the Queen Anne's III. And he'll get.
Did Justin confirm if he will be there Friday night?
No, he's coming Saturday.
He will not be there Friday night. Okay. Well, that sucks. We will do the group photo of the Queen Anne's Revenge.
He said he'll be at the Great Wolf Lodge on Friday.
He's doing one doing that with a fam.
Okay. Well.
All right.
Whatever.
I respect it.
Whatever.
We'll give him a hard time on Saturday.
There's already Saturday night. After, Justin is doing family time, and then after we beat State, Saturday night, he says he's going to take care of us. So thank you, Justin. That's mighty kind of you.
There you go.
There you go, right there.
The Queen Anne's Revenge, and diecast coming of that potentially in limited run here hopefully soon. I don't know if I was supposed to say that on the air, but I have now.
Well, there goes our sponsorship. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, it's all right. Guys, again, want to promote, and we've talked about it at nauseum, but Bubba, do you have the graphic ready? We can put it up on the screen again.
Yeah, but before we go to that, we hadn't talked about the coaching staff yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, who needs coaches?
But Blake Harrell's made three additions to his staff. Defensive coordinator Josh Aldridge coming over from Auburn. Had a strong connection there with Hugh Freeze, not only at Auburn but going back to Liberty. During his time at Auburn over the last 2 years, he's coached the linebackers, and then this year coached the edge rushers slash defensive ends.
Defensive coordinator at Liberty, though.
Yeah, and during his time at Auburn, they, despite their struggles from a record standpoint, they have been pretty good defensively. And then, as Kyle mentioned, defensive coordinator or co-defensive coordinator during his days in Lynchburg with the Liberty Flames. And then when Freeze left for Auburn, took over for the last 2 or 3 games as the interim head coach. And, prior to that, had been at West Georgia and Lenore Ryan in the D2 ranks. And Blake Harrell earlier this week talked about how he's someone that he's known for 10 plus years now, and he wanted to bring someone in of a similar mindset as far as believing in a very aggressive attacking defense, and he's done just that. And then also our director of operations is someone that and Coach Harrell knew from his days with Kennesaw State. Lydia West, and she had been at Berry, which is a Division II program there in the state of Georgia. She had been at Berry for 5 or 6 years after being a student at Berry, and then she'd been at Kennesaw State for the last 8 or 9, and served as the director of operations there. So she's been serving in the same role, for around a decade, and so great that he was able to get someone that he was comfortable with and had that previous relationship with, working with her at Kennesaw State. And then strength coach, of course, we parted ways with John Williams, and replacing him as the ECU football strength coach is Mike Siriano. Mike Siriano had been the strength coach under Scott Satterfield at App, and then also for a few years at Louisville. And then after that served about a year and a half as the strength coach at Georgia State with Sean Elliott until he opted to become the run game coordinator and return to the University of South Carolina. And then he has since been an assistant strength conditioning coach up at Rutgers. From what I hear, it's going to be a pretty, stark contrast of styles as far as just his approach compared to Big John. But I think there will definitely be a bit of a learning curve there. We shall see, but heard a lot of good things, and then just intrigued to see how the transition goes. But there's no doubt from what I heard about his time at App, Louisville, and Georgia State that the guys will undoubtedly be working plenty hard, and not that they didn't under Big John, but it's just I don't know. Just from what I heard, that he's extremely intense, even for a strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, you got to wonder how that'll go in 2024 with the kids' mindsets today. Obviously, working with Satterfield at App State, they had a lot of success. Had some success at Louisville. Was successful at Georgia State. That whole situation down there was weird to me with Sean Elliott when he left. But everywhere he's been, they've been successful. So proven track record as a head strength and conditioning coach. Like the people he's worked with, including Shiano at Rutgers this year as an assistant strength coach. But worked with Scott Satterfield, Sean Elliott, and Greg Shiano. Those are 3 really good head coaches to be working with. You running their strength program. The defensive coordinator, obviously linebackers coach at Auburn, but more importantly was defensive coordinator and interim head coach at Liberty, was defensive coordinator at Lenore Ryan. When he was defensive coordinator at Liberty, he was one of the youngest coordinators in the FBS. He's only 35 now. So when he was coordinator at Liberty, he was 32. Very young guy. So back as a coordinator. Like that hire a lot, actually.
I do too.
So pretty good hires. The strength coach, here's some really good things here. That whole intensity, that whole mindset, working guys really hard. That's great if guys will buy into it. So that's what you got to have the buy-in there.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that. I mean, that's honestly, as a head football coach, your most important hire, all right, outside of your OC and your DC, might be your strength and conditioning
And
coach.
your general manager.
The general manager and he had done that at Purdue. And he's got a good defensive background too.
But the strength and conditioning coach, guys, that's a key hire because that coach spends more time with the players than anybody throughout the course of the year. And it's got to be somebody who has the ability to push them hard on a daily basis. But at the same time, he's got to be able to communicate with those guys and have their respect. So, I heard a lot of, things about the new strength and conditioning coach. I heard he's very intense, like you guys had mentioned. And, time will tell, but hopefully he's the right fit. That one's got to work.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's all about how the guys respond to him. And
I will say, before we move on from Mike Siriano, the new strength and conditioning coach, that one of the things that does match up is, with that East Carolina mindset, is and how we really pride ourselves on overachieving and so forth. That's right down his line and right down his alley. And I'm really intrigued to see how this hire goes.
I got a feeling it's probably going to be one of two ways. He'll be the next Jeff Connors, or it'll be a disaster. Probably one or the other. When you got a guy that's that dynamic of a personality, there's normally not a lot of in between. It's either going to work really well or it's not going to work at all. And let's hope it's the latter. It works, or the formal. It works really, really, really well. And I'm hopeful it will. I love the coaches he's worked with. Like I said, Satterfield's a great coach. Sean Elliott is a very underrated coach, and everybody respects Greg Schiano.
No question. Speaking of underrated, are you guys ready for Christmas? Are you ready for the Christmas portion of the show? Our Christmas spectacular.
Yes. I am. So, what are the topics for discussion? Do we have them officially? I'll go ahead, Dave.
I've got one. I'll start it off because I was actually thinking about this yesterday. What is so Santa Claus, right? So what is your favorite? Do you have like a favorite year that you got your favorite toys? I'll start mine off. 1978. I was a 5-year-old kid, and that was the height. I mean, the beginning of like Star Wars in 1977. So 78, I get a Millennium Falcon, like some Star Wars action figures, and I got a Redskins jersey, the pants, and the helmet. I actually slept in it Christmas night. I'm proud of that. Yes, I am. But that's my all-time favorite Christmas, of like waking up to Santa Claus, and you like, I didn't even want to go to bed. That my mom and dad were actually mad that night. I'll never forget, because I was so excited for Santa Claus. I didn't want to go to sleep. I wanted to meet Santa. So what about you guys?
Favorite Santa memory? In terms of presents from Santa, I got a couple different ones. A few different ones. Probably around the same age you're talking. I maybe even 6. I might have been 86. I got Snake. I can't think of it. It wasn't Castle Grayskull. It was the somebody that grew up Jay or Matt. Maybe you remember He-Man. The Snake. Well, I know it's He-Man, the Master of the Universe, but the Snake. Damn it, I can't think of what it's called. Somebody in the chat help me out. It was not Castle Grayskull, but Snake something. It was somewhere Skeletor had. That was like a snake layer, and it had a snake with it. And I got that, and He-Man and Skeletor and Beastman, bunch of He-Man Master of the Universe action figures with that not castle, but whatever the snake layer was called. So that's a good one. Another one is I got a bunch of WWF LJN wrestling figures in a wrestling ring one year. Bubba left because he hates Christmas.
Bubba hates to talk. I knew he was gone. I knew it. Is Bubba coming back? That's the question.
He's protesting. He's gone, baby. He's gone.
WWF LJN wrestling figures and wrestling ring. And another one would be the year I got towards the end of the where NES became popular and Atari was being phased out. But I was still playing a lot of Atari. Still play a lot of Atari. I got probably the Christmas of '89, probably 40 brand new Atari 2600 games because they were on clearance at KB Toys.
Well, they're like $5, right?
Yes. Yeah. So
it was like I had the. Do you remember, Kyle? Do you remember borrowing? Because you were one of the only guys that remembers this. Do you remember Journey? The band had a Atari game.
Yeah, Journey Escape. Yes.
Yeah, Escape. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't borrow. If you were about to bring up me borrowing Atari, you see, all right. So for anybody that doesn't know this, I don't know if we talked about this on the show recently, Dave. My sister and Dave's sister grew up through elementary and middle school as best friends. Yeah. And Dave's older than me by a few years, and so he was in high school when I was in elementary school. And but Amy, his sister, would bring me Atari games of his to play, And countless times I borrowed Cubert, Burger Time, and Pitfall 2 from Dave when I was a kid. And I don't even think he was aware of it because you may have been in college by that point when she was bringing me those games.
Let's see. I was when I started. The only reason why you and I there's an age difference, but by the time that that Amy was staying, my sister was staying with your sister Heather, I was like working at Burger King. I was 16 and you were like 8 is when I first remember you like coming into my life as far as knowing of you.
Yeah.
But not as far as like we were not,
No, it would have been weird if you hung out with an 8-year-old. But yeah, I borrowed Atari games from Dave when I was a kid. So there's a fun fact for everybody that may have not have known that. But Matt, what your favorite Santa Claus memories?
I guess
now Matt's left the show. Now Matt enjoyed.
I'm here. Sorry, I had my mute button. Big thing by me where I grew up in Jersey, where everybody had the bikes. We would get on our bikes. We would ride bikes all day. I got a Diamondback.
Oh yeah.
Bike when I was a kid. I wanted a Diamondback. That was like a really cool thing, I guess. And the thing was pretty slick, and it had the white rims, and it was pretty awesome. I got that. That was probably my best Christmas memory from being a kid.
How about this? Will Landon. Will, I respect you even more. Mike Tyson's Punch Out, the greatest video game ever. Let me tell you something.
I got that for Christmas in the early 90s, actually.
Really?
After Tyson was removed from the cover. I still had an NES. This was after I had a Sega Genesis also, but I actually got Punch Out for Christmas after Tyson was removed, after he went to prison. Or it may have been just when the contract ran out. He might not have went to prison yet. It was very early 90s. So there's 2 versions of Punch Out for the NES. There's the one with Tyson and one without. Exact same game. The only difference is they just made up a character to take Tyson's place. It's just a different skin over Tyson as the final boss, and he's on the cover. But I got that for Christmas when you're there, Will.
Will's very cool and a great. Matt has been recognizing our great contributors. Will and I actually got a chance to meet at the Navy game, or after the Navy game. I guess it was right before the A&T game.
I met Will at one game this year too. It may have been the Navy game.
Cool dude.
So he's a good guy.
How about, by the way, another great contributor we're talking about, Pays. 1986, my first boombox and the License to Ill cassette tape. Absolutely, yesterday.
Beastie Boys?
Yes. That is awesome. That is one of the best albums of the 80s, without question. And that's when I got you're talking about the Christmas of 86 Pays. I got my first boombox. It was not my first boombox, but it was like the first boombox I had with a CD player, and it had 2 the dual cassette on the bottom. So that was, I got 4 CDs myself and another guy in my class. With the 2 of us had CD players, the first ones in the whole school. So that was really cool. But anyway, that's I remember that very well. How about let's go to another
first CD player in 86?
Yep.
I got my first. Now, granted, it's an age difference too, but I got my first CD player in 92.
Oh well, I remember the first guys. Do you remember Record Bar, Kyle?
Where was it located?
In the mall. Tracks. You probably know Tracks.
Yeah, in Greenville, Washington. What's you talking about?
Greenville.
Yeah. Okay. We grew up in Williamston. There was no mall. The Carolina East Mall, Plaza Mall at the time, or no, Carolina East.
Yeah, it was near Belk and
vaguely I do. Yes.
Anyway, they had when I was growing up in Durham, like in 1983, at the Record Bar, they had CD players, like in a jewelry case, or where they didn't even have them out where you could really look at them, but they had.
They would skip constantly back then.
At 1983, they had them for $800, $800.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, yeah. So the reason that I had to wait a little while is because the price came down to about, I think those boom boxes back then in 86, like Pays is talking about. Well, I think his was a dual cassette, but mine, I had on the top had the CD player were like $200.
Yeah. Matt, you're we got a comment here.
The boom boxes, Juan Blanco says, boom boxes, that was a funny time. D cell batteries were expensive. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, they were actually. Matt, you're a big movie buff, so we will move on to a topic that is near and dear to your.
All right, hold on a second.
All right.
We got a couple more here I wanted to bring up real quick. The real numbers. I didn't get an Atari. I got an Intellivision. Love the football and basketball.
Horrible controllers. Great system.
Yep. Alan Vick says go-kart Christmas 1974, Evil Knievel Bike 1975, and my first really nice stereo system in 1984. Oh man, a Kenwood. You couldn't tell me nothing. Rocking Pokey Pigs Blue Christmas 45 on my brand new Kenwood stereo. First CD player was an 87. Actually bought my first CD, John Mellencamp. So that's a great album, The Lonesome Jubilee. Before I had a player, damn thing was $21, laughing out loud.
Wow, there you go.
Page said his first CD player was 1989. He got 2 CDs. Surprisingly, I would have never guessed, Page. Heavy D and Big Daddy Kane. Are you kidding me?
There you go. I think my first CD I purchased when I got my CD player in '92. I got several that were given to me, but the first one I purchased, a little different than Page's taste. I got Clint Black Killing Time CD.
That's a great.
Yes, it is. So,
yeah, go ahead. No, I was just.
I was going to change the subject. So go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to.
All right. So we're going to move on to movies. Matt, so just near and dear to Matt's heart. Matt is a movie buff of anybody on the show. Matt, what are your top 5 favorite Christmas movies that come to mind? Not including Christmas specials. Christmas specials are separate.
So here's the thing with Christmas movies. You got to be careful because what these networks do is they'll get maybe 2 or 3 of them a year, and they will overplay them to the point where you can get really sick of the movie.
Just turn the channel.
So you got to be careful not to watch. It's always the same ones on TV. But in terms of favorites, obviously Christmas Vacation is right up there at the top. It's a classic. That one you could watch a million times. 1953.
Rusty still in the Navy?
It's Rusty still in the Navy, exactly. 1953, A Christmas Carol. Scrooge.
That's your favorite version, the 53 version?
I love that version, yeah.
Okay.
It's a great version. It's a black and white. It's one of the old school ones, but it's a good one. Let's see. One I saw recently, I'm not necessarily giving you my top 5 of all time, but just some ones I like. I saw a good one recently with Vince Vaughn, 4 Christmases.
Oh, yeah.
That's
not
a
a fan.
Pretty funny one, I thought. Let's see. William Grant says The Family Man. The Family Man is a great, great underrated movie. Underrated Christmas movie that a lot of people haven't seen. So
Nick Cage.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
I've seen some of it. I'll go. For me, my list is going to be pretty classic. A Christmas Story. TBS, TNT, play it to death, but particularly on Christmas Eve. But I love A Christmas Story, one of my all-time favorites. As Matt mentioned, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, top tier. The original black and white 1940s version of Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, man.
To me, one of the most creative endings in movie history. That whole movie, to me, it takes such a silly topic of this guy believing he's Santa Claus and working at Macy's, and it plays it very serious, but never goes too serious with it. Never tries to make the audience think they're stupid by believing this guy really is Santa Claus, but they never say it's not. He's not, so it's perfectly acceptable for children to watch that believe in Santa. And to me, still one of the most genius endings. How do you prove something that's impossible to prove? How do you prove this man is Santa Claus and keep him out of the mental ward, or as it was known at the time, the state hospital? They're having a case to prove this man's sanity, and his defense is he really believes he's Santa Claus. Well, how can you prove that? And they use the new, for the spoiler alert in case you've never seen it.
Turn it down.
Yeah, the Postal Service in New York gets thousands of letters to Santa, and they have nowhere to send them. So they decide this man is saying he's Santa Claus at the courthouse, and they start sending him all the mail. And so that's how they use that to their advantage. They present all these thousands and thousands of letters that have been delivered to that courthouse for this man claiming he is Santa Claus. So the United States government, the United States Postal Service, a branch of the federal government, recognizes this man as the one and only Santa Claus. So this court is in no position to outrule the federal government. Therefore, he is Santa Claus. And to me, it is sheer genius. Another one that's right up there to me is Matt makes fun of me for liking his Ernest Saves Christmas. Loved it as a kid. Loved it. Loved it as a kid. Loved it as an adult. My wife's a big fan of it too. We both grew up watching it. We watched it together every year. In fact, we watched it last weekend, I believe it was. Great movie. If you've never seen Ernest Saves Christmas, and I say this, I think any kids watching it would love it. As an adult, if you've never seen it or if you weren't an Ernest fan, it might not hold up. But from somebody who's watched it from the time they were a child, I absolutely love Ernest Saves Christmas, particularly the part where he goes to the horror movie studio where they're filming the Christmas horror movie, and he dresses up as a snake handler and goes, "Poison snakes, poison. That's what them horror movie folks want is poison snakes." But anyway, great movie. Let's see if I got some honorable mentions, and we'll switch topics. Trying to think here. Elf has got to be an honorable mention. Will Ferrell's one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies. I'm a huge Will Ferrell fan. The original, the first Santa Claus with Tim Allen's another honorable mention. A Homecoming, A Walton's Christmas, the first ever Walton's movie that introduced the Waltons to America, which spun off the show. It's an absolute classic that I have not watched yet this year. I need to watch it. I love that. Patrick Stewart's version of A Christmas Carol, 1999. Matt, have you ever seen that? That is my favorite version of A Christmas Carol. There was a guy on TikTok that watched 300 versions of A Christmas Carol and ranked them all, and he was shocked when he said, in his opinion, after watching them all, that is the definitive version of A Christmas Carol. So it kind of vindicated me for all these years saying that Patrick Stewart's version is the best. A freaking made-for-TV movie that was made for TNT. Back in the late 90s, I think is the best version of A Christmas Carol. And then if you want to get into Christmas specials, that's a whole different topic. But Dave, what's your list?
So I have to put, not necessarily in any order, I got to go with It's a Wonderful Life. I know that it's played a lot, but
wow, I left that one out.
That is what I do, guys, and you guys made me think about it. It's almost Christmas, and what I do every year is, the digital copies you can get now. I've been doing it for about 7 or 8 years. I've been buying like specials and movies, been buying them. And so every year my kids, we watch them, and Kyle, my kids have to know about, we'll talk about the specials in a minute. So I'll save that for then, but It's a Wonderful Life. My daughter, she had watched it, and so we watched it again, and she was bragging about the original Miracle on 34th Street, and she absolutely loved it. And we had a daddy-daughter date where we got a chance to watch the movie together, and she was I was amazed for a 10-year-old to be very articulate about. She was asking me a lot of questions and about the movie and everything.
Did she talk about the genius creativity of the ending of using the federal government to recognize Santa Claus?
She was pulling hard. Obviously, she loves Santa Claus, so she was pulling hard for. She didn't like the fact that Santa Claus was on trial. That was a 10-year-old's mindset, I guess. But she enjoyed it. It was like after the movie. The bad part about showing that movie is that it was right like. I guess we started about 7:30. It's a little over an hour and a half. So it was a little bit just a little bit past her bedtime. But she was like, "Dad, wow, that was a great movie." And she was like talking to me a lot after the movie. And I was like, probably not a good parenting moment as far as like trying to get her bed on time. But as far as having that memory of watching it together, we watch both Home Alone 1 and 2, the original and the second one, are we all watch them every single year. My kids love that. Christmas Story, we talked about that. I don't want to repeat some of them. There's some that I don't have, like White Christmas. I don't have that yet. Some of the ones, the real classics, like that. And
you mentioned It's a Wonderful Life, Dave. The great Donna Reed.
Oh man,
what a beautiful woman she was.
Oh my God, yeah.
She really makes that movie for me. But that is a great one. I completely forgot about that. I'm a little off my game tonight because I'm trying to do 30 different things. But yeah, the great Donna Reed did not disappoint.
No, she did not. And I tell you guys, the black and white. I know that Will was talking about that. Amen, Will. He said I'll put this up here real quick, guys. Oh, wrong one. Love all the old school black and white Christmas movies. Certainly takes you back to simpler times. Amen, Will. That's a great. I couldn't think of a better way to say that. But anyway,
yeah, more recent ones that are pretty good. A Christmas Story Christmas, not to be confused with Christmas Story 2, but A Christmas Story Christmas, which came out a couple years on HBO Max, is a very nice sequel to A Christmas Story. They did well with it. A lot of the original characters back. Bad Santa's a fun one to watch if you want something a little different. Billy Bob Thornton does a great job in that, and Thurman Merman, fantastic. Thurman Merman is one of the greatest characters in movie history.
B-Pays, give you your top 5. Bad Santa, Christmas with the Cranks, Die Hard, Elf, and Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I got to call two things on Paige's list. Die Hard's a great movie, not a Christmas movie. I know that's a topic people like to discuss, but funny, nobody ever brings up as Gremlins, a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And then a Christmas with the Cranks is utter garbage. Besides that, I love your list, Paige.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll argue if Die Hard's a Christmas movie or not, but nonetheless, it's a great movie. But Christmas with the Cranks is garbage. Good God.
He had a great list, except I agree with you. Kyle and I could agree on something.
Matt, your thoughts on Christmas with the Cranks?
That's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
It is, yes.
He is a babe. He is a babe.
I don't know, man. I could take it or leave it. I wouldn't change my plans though to watch it.
But well, everybody's got their own taste. Look, there's a horrible Christmas movie that I love. It was a made-for-TV movie, and I know it's bad, but I watched it a lot in the 90s, and Jessica hates it anytime I want to watch it. It's called Christmas Every Day, and basically it's the concept of Groundhog Day, except done at Christmas, and it's this teenage boy who's kind of reached that crossroads where he's not a kid, but he's a teenager, and he doesn't like Christmas anymore, and so he has to relive Christmas over and over and over again. And anytime I want to watch that, I literally brought it up today, and Jessica's like, no, we're not watching that movie.
Johnny Robertson, I said, I really enjoyed the Christmas special y'all did with Grover Deal a few years back.
Yeah. Grover Deal from Christmas Story. We that is archived somewhere, I'm sure. But yes, we had the Grover Deal from A Christmas Story on several years ago for our Christmas special. Back when we really put effort into the show. That was a cool deal.
This might be kind of unpopular decision here, but I'm really starting to get into there's some really good Christmas horror movies that have come out the last few years.
Oh God. I used to be a big horror movie. No, all right, let's go old school. Have you ever watched Silent Night, Deadly Night? 1, 2, there's like 5 of them.
I've seen the first one.
Matt, have you seen it?
Hold on.
Demenza.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Talking about Christmas horror movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
All right, so in the last few years, there have been some pretty good ones.
Oh, I got the wrong one. Sorry, Matt. Let's see if he'll come back.
Good job, Dave.
I know there was 2 of them, and
message him to here. I got it. All right.
All right.
Dave, go ahead. Talk.
There we go. Matt, are you there?
Yeah. I don't know. Man, my Wi-Fi is terrible tonight.
No, Dave was trying to get rid of the fake Matt. There was 2 Matts on screen, and he cut off the one that was still talking. Matt, you talk about Christmas horror movies before you get into the new ones. Where do you stand on Silent Night, Deadly Night, and that whole franchise from the 80s?
So, I think they're pretty solid movies. Wasn't really into them as a kid because, when you're a kid, you don't really want to see that.
I was the complete opposite. I loved them as a kid. Don't care for them now.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really as much into those. I think like recently, the new Krampus was really good. There was a good one that came out in 2022, Violent Night, which was a really good one. Trying to think, there was another one here.
Did you ever see the one that Goldberg made a few years ago?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And then there's one called A Christmas Horror Story. That was a great one. So, it's a little different, if you want to mix it up and kind of get away from puppy dogs and ice cream, mix in a little horror. Those are some pretty good ones.
Yeah, and we'll start to wrap this up quickly. Favorite Christmas specials, obviously Rudolph is right up there. Charlie Brown Christmas, which you have to watch on Blu-ray if you don't have Apple TV. Thankfully, I have it on Blu-ray. You can't go wrong with Frosty. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas is one you never see anymore. Great animated special. All the Rankin Bass stuff from A Year Without a Santa Claus to Santa Claus Is Coming to Town. All that stuff is classic. Garfield Christmas. Any of those stick out to you, Matt, Dave?
Yeah, you said the Rankin Bass. Those guys were actually on our station with Henry Hinton, and I actually I booked them on, and that was one of the highlights of my radio career, just to be able to talk to those guys. They were such gentlemen, and wow, you don't realize it because you're doing the show, but you don't realize a lot of times the guests you have on. But that was a fanboy moment for sure to have those guys on when you think about what they produced.
Yeah, they did some great ones. Obviously, the original Rudolph was a great one. That's just a classic. You kind of have to watch it every year when it's on, no matter what. So yeah, some good mentions there.
Yeah, guys. Anything else we want to get in here? Obviously,
songs. Let me just say,
okay.
I'm listening to Sirius XM and the Holly channel, one of the Christmas song, music channels.
Yeah.
And I flip it over there, and Matt's favorite Christmas song from Paul McCartney was on, and I laughed so hard. You made my morning. I was driving to work the other day, Matt, and you made my morning.
Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time.
Oh, it's your favorite one. I was laughing. I was listening to that because I was literally laughing for 3 minutes or however long that song is. So you gave me a great moment. Thank you, Matt.
Quickly, top 3 favorite Christmas songs. Christmas in Dixie by Alabama, without a doubt, my all-time favorite. Another would be The Waitresses, Christmas Wrapping. I love that song.
Yeah,
one of the funnest, most 80s sounding Christmas songs ever. And probably, I'd have to sit here and sort through my brain to pick out what would be next. So I'm going to go a traditional Oh Holy Night, but I'm going to go with John Barry's version.
Yeah.
If you don't know who John Barry is, look up his version of Oh Holy Night. It's fantastic.
Is that it?
That's my top 3, yeah. Matt, you got a top 3 favorite Christmas songs?
I have to think about that one. Dave, you go ahead, and then I'll...
Matt's not very musical.
Oh man,
I'm a little off the game tonight. I'm sitting here thinking about 40 gifts.
Like, you're done talking sports. I'm just gonna bail.
Yeah, Bubba doesn't do the Christmas special. He moves on.
We know he loves Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, he does.
No doubt about that. I like he loves comedies. Comedies is Dumb and Dumber. He loves comedy, so it's really cool. And like Animal House, that's Bubba's, like, as far as so any kind of comedy is definitely him. All right, let's do Pays real quick. These are some good ones. Pays a great trick. Man, you beat me on that. I was going to do Silent Night, The Temptations, but thank you, Pays, because that was one of mine that I was going to put up there. Run DMC Christmas in Hollis. Donny Hathaway this Christmas. I heard that.
It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens.
Yeah.
Mama cooking chitlins and collard greens. I think it's how it goes. Something like that.
But Pace, I heard Donny Hathaway this Christmas last Thursday night riding home, and it makes every time I hear Donny Hathaway, I know it's Donny Hathaway, but
who the hell is Donny Hathaway?
It's an R&B singer.
Okay,
from the late 70s, late 70s, and that song sounds like, I'm sorry, it sounds like Stevie Wonder. It's not Stevie Wonder. I know it's not Stevie Wonder, but man, Donny Hathaway, God rest his soul. And I'll tell you off the line.
Is that This Christmas Will Be a Very Special Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah, you know the song. You still know that.
The mistletoe. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great song, and it reminds me of Stevie Wonder. But anyway.
Well, you know what? There's a blind man singing it for you.
I love when you're talking about Christmas songs. One of my all-time favorites from the great state of New Jersey. I love Santa Claus is Watching You by Bruce Springsteen is one of my all-time favorites. Let's see, what else do I like?
That's a great one. Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Bruce and the E Street Band. Yeah, that's definitely a classic.
Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites. I've heard it 5 bajillion times, but I love Andy Williams. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I know it's overplayed, but man, that song never gets old. I really love that song a lot.
I got a Christmas song for you, and I cannot remember who sings it, but it's Christmas Old Lang Syne. Do you know that one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Not Old Lang Syne New Year's, but it's called Christmas Old Lang Syne.
Yeah.
And it is
Alan
fantastic.
Vick. I'm gonna phone a friend.
Alan Vick sings it. All right, Alan Vick sings it. All right, awesome.
No, Alan Vick. I'm phoning a friend because Alan Vick will know that. Say that again.
I can just ask Alexa.
Alan Vick says, "Driving Home for Christmas," Chris Ray.
I don't know that
one. Did you know Outkast's first song they released was a Christmas song? "Players Ball" was on LaFace's Christmas album, 1994.
Did not know that.
And Pays, did you know that I went to a pimp ball down in Jackson, Mississippi?
You did what now?
A true story. January 2004. I was joking with real quick. I was joking with a group of people about let's hang out at the basketball tournament at the School for the Deaf there, and we were going, and it was an interpreter, and he took us out to a club. Little did I know that Big Daddy Kane and some other was, but they actually had a pimp ball where they drove like limousines, and they came out with like fur coats and like canes, and okay, it was wild. Never thought in a million years that I would be at a pimp ball, but it happened. So anyway,
well, pimping ain't easy.
That's right. So there's another fun fact for you. Never thought that I would be invited to a pimp ball, but you know, I got to be like Matt Semenza. So
I give you one more, and I got to bounce, fellas, because I have to actually rap about 400 gifts. But the worst Christmas song next to the Paul McCartney is I don't know if it's Wham or George Michael. Last Christmas. When they play that song, when that song comes on the radio, I'm gonna drive my car off a bridge next time I hear it.
This year, the 7 for 10.
That song is an abomination. It's actually a slap in the face to Christmas, to the entire Christmas season.
We'll see.
You know what? I don't hate that song. I don't hate it. I don't hate that song. I don't hate it. It's I can see you hate it. I'll tell you one that I can't stand. I'll tell you one that I can't stand. I want to have hippopotamus for Christmas. All the hippopotamus will do.
Well, can I tell you my story about this one?
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so basically, I agree.
Oh,
with
your daughter. I know the story.
Yeah, Mackenzie actually had a seizure on Christmas Day, and we actually had a hippopotamus, and it played that. I still have that toy because I can't get rid of it, but it actually plays that song, and she had a really bad It was Christmas Day at 4 p.m. This was probably 7 o'clock at the hospital. We were scared to death. And we brought that toy in, and I brought it in, and she had the biggest smile on her face. It like changed her whole mood. So growing up, I thought that was the most obnoxious song. I know it's a novelty song. I know what you guys are saying, but I think
we have this discussion every year, David. I forget every year until you start telling the story.
Yeah, but that song is a special meaning. So now I went from actually being annoyed by that song to now it's a totally different experience.
No, that makes sense.
All right. By the way, here's one. Alan Vick got it. Bobby Darin.
Yeah. Great
Thanks,
song.
Alan.
Bobby Darin, Christmas All Lang Syne is fantastic.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see. What is another one people don't like, but I really love is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I love that song.
Great song. Also a cute animated special.
Do you hate that song, Matt? Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer?
I don't hate that one. No, that one I think is kind of it's funny. It's a good one. It's a classic.
Wow. See, I would think that you would hate that song, so I'm wrong on that one too. So,
Matt, what do you think of Christmas in Dixie? Never heard it in his life.
Wait, you'd have to give me the line.
If you don't know, okay, the line is "It's Christmas in Dixie." You've never heard it. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I probably heard it, but I can't.
Christmas in Dixie is snowing in the pines. Merry Christmas from Dixie to everyone tonight. I'll send you the song. It's my all-time favorite. I think you would have to be from the South to appreciate it, though.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure. But you'd already mentioned it, so I was trying to be a little different, Kyle. So, by the way, before we get out of here, with the thousands and thousands of people viewing right now and listening, who's going to win the football game? We'll do you want to wait till Friday night and do the predictions, or you want to give a?
We'll do it Friday.
All right, Friday night.
If you want the predictions, tune in Friday or either be there in person.
All right. And by the way, speaking of Friday, Kyle, where are we going to be?
We are going to be at the Fisherman's Inn in Graysonville, Maryland, just about 20 miles from the stadium in Annapolis, just across the bridge. I believe it's on Kent Island. So the Fisherman's Inn in Graysonville, Maryland. If you want any information, just go to our Facebook page, Sports Objective on Facebook, our Twitter account. We've promoted it on social media. Google the Fisherman's Inn in Maryland. It'll give you all the information you want. We're going to have a private room there, so come on out and join us. And it'll be a great night of Pirate football. We're going to Zemenza's going to be there. You're going to have Pace is going to be you're going to have Jody Schultz, former East Carolina player and Philadelphia Eagle, who owns the Fisherman's Inn, will be there, along with some of his teammates from the Ed Emery era. So there'll be a lot of Pirate football talk. We'll be talking about the bowl game. We'll be eating seafood. We'll full bar there for Pirate beverages. So come on out and join us Friday night at the Fisherman's Inn, 6 to 9 p.m. It's going to be a good time.
Hey, finally, guys, I got one idea that just dawned on me. I can't believe I didn't think about it yet. We were bragging about Johnny Robertson. JR, can you make some trivia questions, some fun facts or whatever about maybe the Military Bowl, about NC State, East Carolina? I think that will be a lot of fun. And I think maybe we can throw in a prize or something. We'll think of something we can do. So anyway, I think that will be a lot of fun. You guys ready to get out of here?
Yeah, let's go. Merry Christmas to all.
All right.
And to all a good night.
Absolutely, fellas. Great
Merry
times
Christmas,
as always.
Matt.
Looking forward to this weekend.
Same here, man. And Kyle, Bubba.
Great Christmas.
There's not many times that all four of us have been together. If you want to see that and get a picture with us, then see us at the Fisherman's Inn in Graysonville, Maryland, again, 6 to 9 on Friday night. Thanks for all the fellas. Thanks to Jay Sunhalter. Jason. We'll get out of here. Good night, everybody.
I'll spike the eggnog.
That's right. Merry Christmas. Good night, everybody. And as always, go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.